even if you're able to manage your own properties. Yeah, there's two routes to go. As you scale and as you get big, you either develop your own management team
Yep.
and you run it in house, which I have a buddy who recently did that and he's having great success. Or number two, you have to have a good property management company out there. We're all going to have our issues. We all will make mistakes. We'll drop the ball in certain areas, but there are property managers that are much better than others. All
Yeah.
right, especially in Dayton's not a huge place. We're what 370 some thousand people or whatever it is. There's not a lot of good property managers in this area, and you've seen some of them. But when you're choosing those contractors, you got to find people that you trust,
Yep.
and then you have a good relationship too. And then if you call them, they pick up the phone, right? Because when you start getting to 100 rentals, I mean, even if we just went through the call log of your tenants, man, it is unreal. It's unreal how many calls come in, how many after hours calls come in. And if you try to do that on your own and you don't have a great team, whether it's your own in-house team that you created that you can be hands off on, or whether it's the third-party management team, if you don't have a great team, that will distract you from your growth. That will
Yeah.
distract you from being able to scale. And sure, you'll make less money because you're paying contractors and because you're paying management, but it helps you scale, right? So
And my pitch is, I so many first time investors want to manage the first one themselves because it's only one. And my alternative to that is if it's $1,000 rental, right? A single family home renting for $1,000 bucks, that means you could pay $1,200 to a property management company for the year to get all of their knowledge, all of their contacts, and all of their expertise on how to grow, how to manage, and you're going to learn all their systems and everything. That is so worth it for
yeah.
$1,200, right? Versus trying
Well, you had
to
one
learn it.
recently where you had a property that you were rehabbing or whatever it was. It was a newer property for you that had a sewage backup and it was all in there. And you had a company give you a quote and you sent me a text like, "Hey man, who would you have come out there and do that?" And I sent you one of the guys that I used. How much did you save by using him opposed to the company that given you a quote?
Absolutely. So one call or two calls, and I got the answer to you and a quote that came back at $6,000. I was able to get it done for 2,500 bucks,
Yeah,
and same quality of service, right? The exact same scope of work, but it was literally under 50% because this person was referred by the county and they're able to mark up, a great number versus someone who's willing to do it, more cost effectively from your years of expertise, right? And going through that many times before.
yeah. There's all kinds of ways to save money just through networking, just through the relationships. And even today, man, no matter how many, I mean, we manage thousands of units, but I still get referrals from people that I trust, because no matter how big my contractor network is, I know there's people out there that I haven't met yet or that
Yeah.
haven't come across my sphere. So, you got to really lean into it, but don't be afraid to spend a little bit more money to have those relationships and have those third party because allowing to focus on your business, you'll make so much more money in the way that you scale opposed to being distracted by everything that does not matter.
Yeah, I think the connection, people look at the cost and they don't look at the opportunity cost, right? They look at, hey, I'm gonna have to give this much money, but they don't look at how much, they may lose from all the headaches and all the time they have to spend in managing that property, right? For specific to property management. So I would always challenge, look at the opportunity cost, not what is the actual cost to you.
Yeah. Last question for you, man. Over the last 100 units that you bought, 105 now, what's the biggest lesson that you think that you've learned? Like if you could reach out to all the new people investing or younger investors that have dreams of doing exactly what you're doing, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned?
Mm, wow. I mean, I think there's a lot of takeaways, but um, for me, I think you have to find ownership. I think you have to find a way towards equity or ownership. And I think this is in real estate or in life in general. Like, if you are not holding the equity or the ownership, in this case, real estate, then you are always going to be trading your time for that money. And that is what most jobs are. But what's powerful now is I have, you know, businesses or rentals that are making money without my time input now. And that is so powerful for my future. And I think, that can be in other, types of life. You don't have to get equity in real estate. You can go get equity in businesses, right? Or into owning stocks. You have to start getting a return that isn't tied to your money. And that would be what I would recommend to people to figure out how can they get towards the equity side of any type of business or role that they're in.
Sure. That's so powerful, man. And I don't want people that listen to this think that we're only advocating for real estate, because I think all of the things that we talked about, like how you got started in real estate, how you found money, how you did all that, that doesn't just apply to real estate.
No.
You know, I'm a big advocate, and I do it myself. I buy businesses. I buy service-based industry, businesses that have older owners. We buy businesses the same way we buy real estate. We find older owners or companies that are struggling because they're mismanaged. In real estate, we buy properties from older owners that are ready to retire,
Yeah.
or properties that are struggling. Like, it's the same concept. You can do it in real estate. You can do it in business. You don't have to just use it for real estate. The principles work no matter what. But the number one basic thing that everybody has to do if they want to create financial freedom, you got to do it. You got to grind. You got to be willing to sacrifice. You got to be willing to work long days and long hours and give up and sacrifice family events and sacrifice family time for the short term to get yourself to where you want to be. And for a long time, my wife didn't understand that when I was starting off in real estate. She was so mad at me. And you know what I love now? Here's what I love. Because she left her W-2 job. She still works like 1 or 2 days in the ICU unit at the hospital, right? But she was an ICU nurse for 20 plus years. She never understood the businesses, side of things. And when I started that entrepreneurship, my phone was ringing 24 hours a day. I'm going out on the weekends to take a maintenance call when I first started, right? Because I didn't have all the teams that I have now. She used to you don't care about the family, or you're not spending time with the family, or what should we, what are we supposed to do? We're here at this event. I remember one was like a nutcracker, and you got to walk out and take a phone call. You didn't even enjoy the show with us. But about 3 years ago, she became the CEO of one of our businesses that we bought, Developmental Disabilities, and her phone rings off the hook, like nonstop. And she's always dealing with shit, right? Because she's actively doing it. And now I'm in a place where it's like, I decide whether I want to take my phone calls or not, and I have phenomenal teams. So the roles have kind of reversed a little bit, and I absolutely love it, because I just laugh. She goes, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "You should be sorry. I can't believe you're taking a phone call while we're trying to have a family dinner." And for me, I don't give a shit.
But you were taking that long-term view. You knew that you were building
Yeah.
something, and that's important.
Yeah,
taking a
and
long-term view.
when you do it, I would imagine you and your wife, you guys probably have that conversation of what things are going to look like as
In the
you're jumping
future.
into this,
Yeah.
and you have to have buy-in from your partner,
Absolutely.
and they have to know what to expect.
Yep.
All right, man. So you've been building your social media up a little bit. If people want to reach out to you, they want to follow you. You put out some good content. You put out a lot of raw content in properties
is
that you
raw.
bought. What you're going to do? You're going in like, here's what we did to this property. Here's how we finished it. You're putting out good content that people can watch and really get a hold of. So how do they follow you?
Yeah, CJH John, just my name. CJH John is on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. But yeah, and from me, again, it goes back to I am a one-man team, but I want to get out there and help people, educate them, and help people buy real estate or get involved in real estate in whatever manner. And again, it goes back to, we talked a lot about personal finance. I try to include all the numbers, right? I have nothing to hide here, but try to show what's the purchase price, what am I renovating, what are my soft costs, and what is it appraising for? Because again, I think it's a repetition thing, and once people have seen it enough times, they can get the confidence to go do it on their own. So yeah, and for me, the social media, I'm not trying to sell a course or anything like that. It's more to have conversations because I really enjoy it. I like talking about real estate. I'm
Sure.
sure you're the same. And I've also been able to get, I've raised money from social media, right? Even, having under 1,000 followers, I've raised money. I've gotten clients as an agent. And so I think it's powerful. You never know what's going to come back once you put stuff out into the world. And I've been able to reconnect with a lot of people, and it's been fun.